Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This week I found a free multi-leaf table on Craigslist and I thought it'd be the perfect thing to do my next project with. I've been thinking a lot about the art of upcycling, which is basically taking one thing that's at the end of its life and using it as a component for something else, basically breathing new life into it. And I thought this table was a nice example of that. It was old, it was tired, as you can see, some of it's scuffed, but ultimately there's a lot of potential still in it. I'm also new to YouTube, as you know, and so I'm still learning all these classic shots. Never miss a chance to do some slow motion demolition work. This particular project calls for lots of slats all the same width and same length. So, went over to the trusty table saw to make that happen. It's kind of funny, I never really noticed it when I was filming, and it just probably shows my naivety when it comes to all things YouTube, but I never show my face in any of these shots. I tried all these cool little clip the camera to the board and carry it over, and clip the camera to the saw and then do my cut, but I neglected to show my face, which honestly probably isn't the worst thing in the world. So you'll have to leave some comments about whether you want to see your content creators' faces or not. But as you see here, I made up all the slats and I'm ready to move on to the next step. And that next step in this case is actually prepping some of the surfaces for gluing. These need to be glued together in slat formation, kind of laminated to add some strength to it. And this is a really handy glue roller, but not absolutely critical. But like I said, definitely makes the job a little easier. Unfortunately, they're not paying me at all, so they don't get any product placement. So this assembly table is actually pretty new to my shop, and I'm still figuring out how best to use the dog holes on top of it. These are some standard Craig clamps and some backstops that I got on Amazon. Still trying to figure them out, where they work well and where they don't, but as a whole I think they're pretty handy. But you know, always got to fall back on your trusty clamps. I wasn't too worried about the edges on this because I knew I was going to trim it down to size, ultimately the table saw anyways. I ended up making 3 of these laminated beams, and that's actually pretty classic for the design I'm thinking about. I didn't have exact dimensions for the final assembly, but I'd seen enough YouTube videos to know how it all pretty much went together. So I started eyeing it, and it pretty much just fell into place. I felt like I was really in the flow here, and I felt my artistic side was really starting to come out. So there you have it, folks. If you can't find a palette for all those YouTube palette projects, this is how you make it. Okay, everyone, hopefully this all gave you a good chuckle, and hopefully y'all realize this was just me poking fun at all of the palette projects there on the YouTubes. I am going to disassemble this and actually use the pieces for some other projects around, so it's not all to a waste, I promise. I just love the idea of making mischief in some way, shape, or form. And although all my projects may not be as tongue-in-cheek oriented as this, I do hope to kind of integrate that a bit throughout my channel. So, if you enjoyed this, if it brought you a chuckle, if it's something you want to send to a friend, thanks for your support. You know the drill, like, subscribe, bell, whatever it is. Whatever the current flavor of the day is for YouTube, do it so I know that you want to see more of this stuff. Maybe not necessarily palettes, but woodworking with a twist, or woodworking with a little bit of a smile. Or maybe woodworking with a little bit of mischief. We'll see. Thanks.